Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I'm Ted, hanging out with, well, these nerds.
Dave.
Ryan.
And today we're going to do another Dungeons & Dragons Monsters. This time we're going to talk about the Manticore.
Before we do that, the newsletter. Check it out. You'll get tips, tricks, other cool stuff. Sign up for it down below in the description. Back to the Manticore.
So the Manticore is found on your page 213 of your Trusty Monster Manual.
Or on Trusty Monster Manual. It could be a mimic, and it just bites your hand.
Oh no!
And that's how Ted was never heard from again.
So, Manticore, pretty cool monster. Challenge 3, which means you get to throw it out there pretty early.
I think the first thing we should do is read the note that goes along.
The
with
note is pretty cool. Do you wanna tackle that?
It's noteworthy.
Manticores love the taste of human flesh. That's why on trips through the mountains, I always travel with human guards. Marthok Oldar, dwarf copper merchant.
So this dwarven merchant is probably of a neutral or evil bent. He's willing to sacrifice guards to the Manticore and has no qualms about it.
He's pretty smart. He's like, well, they like flesh or they like humans, so let's
give them something more appetizing to munch
Than
on.
Dwarf, yeah.
Yes.
And dwarves are all
So,
gamey. It's like
most of the time we do these videos, we try to focus more on the actual
how to use them.
story part than focusing on the actual stat block. So it does say that Manticores prefer to attack from range, and it gets 24 tail spikes. It can shoot three of them around. That is enough that at 100 feet flying
It can annoy
away,
you for a while.
yeah.
Set spikes to annoy.
Yeah. Well, not only does it like to do this, but it likes to do this while basically making fun of you and mocking you.
Yeah.
It's a big part of their tactic.
Yeah.
So I will say that while that is definitely a cool tactic, the coolest part about their little dialogue or their little RP bit, it talks about that if they can find a reason to keep someone alive, that they have no problem doing it, provided that they get tribute for their loss of food. So I think that's really cool. So like, if you really want to beat the snot out of your party for one reason or another, if you can find a way to make that happen,
As long as they leave him enough gold at the end that he can go get a Big Mac afterwards, he's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, or he could spare their life to have them go on a quest for him, go get a thing for him that he wants. So you can use them as almost the quest giver. Say you have a first or second level party, this thing's going to wipe the floor with them because it's just flying alone.
Oh, absolutely.
So, like you could basically allude to just the vestiges of a TPK, like it's so close. And then, the party can beg for their life to, go do a thing for him, and he spares them. And but you have to go do this thing, or I will find you. And, he could bully your players into doing a quest for him.
Or you could also use it as a means of dropping them into the quest, because it could essentially TPK them, but instead of killing them, it could just knock them all out and then bring it back to its lauder.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, how do you outsmart the Manticore so you can get it out? And then maybe you have to now escape from the lair. Or maybe there's other things.
Well, they're not exactly bright. They've only got a 7 intelligence on average.
That's still smart enough to come up with a plan. That's, it's below average, but still, they can come up with simple plans.
Right.
And they speak. So I don't. Or are you saying it's easy to?
I'm saying it's possible for the party to be able to trick it. Yeah.
Yes.
Outwit a Manticore. So another thing you could do is you could use them for your low-level parties as the catalyst of, you're going to just take damage until you can find cover, and then the cover is the dungeon that they go into. Basically get them into a cave structure.
Right.
They're they're here for some hours, or they're going to explore, or there's some other denizens in there that they're going to interact with. So they can be the jumping off point to be that force of nature almost that seeks your players to seek cover.
Or even when in Lord of the Rings, when they hide in the cave for shelter, and the barrow gets taken
Right.
You know, and then they investigate, and next thing you know, you're in a goblin kingdom.
Yeah.
Things happen.
Yeah, things and stuff do happen.
So the nice thing about the Manticore is it also pairs up with other monsters readily.
It does.
Has no problem working. It plays nicely with others that it's not.
Works well with others would be on his employee evaluation form.
You know, they make great flying mounts.
They do.
It's way better than a warhorse.
Yeah.
Although, you know, you're going to have
think-
to keep it happy if you're, especially
Fed.
if you're human.
Keep it fed, yeah.
So it doesn't start snacking on you.
Indeed. And, you know, it actually even gives you specific examples of what they actually work with in here. You know, it says that, you know, they make, you know, a good companion for a hill giant. It can be a guard to a Lamia's lair. It could serve as aerial support for an orc horde or a hobgoblin army. So, I mean, those are all specific examples that it says right here out of the book. So,
Yeah, and so what if you had like a more intelligent Manticore though? Yeah, you who is more of a boss. Yeah, you could definitely do something with that. You know, it could be, it could even be worshipped by like lesser monsters like kobolds or goblins, or
absolutely.
lead the tribe of orcs. You know, if you know they're impressive enough physically, but then if you were to you know bump up their mental stats a little bit,
right.
and make them even more powerful.
Right. You know, it could actually be pushing, you know, those smaller humanoids into bringing it humans for sacrifice.
Yeah.
If humans are what they find tasty, bring me humans.
Yeah, you know, I just picture this Manticore like at the center of the tribe, like getting mani-pedis and
Well,
stuff.
so I mean, I could even also see too, like you have like a Manticore that's gotten like really fat and overweight and happy, like basically because he's sending other people to do his dirty work for him. So he's like he doesn't have the physical activities of hunting. So like this overweight Manticore who can like basically you have like give them like nerfed flight or like maybe they can't even really fly because they've gotten so fat. But like maybe their mentals are so high, maybe he's got sorcerer levels or something like that. So like you know you could play with it like to turn it on its head where he's almost like the Jabba the Hutt figure of some savage species.
He's got rogue mastermind levels.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that could be a very different sort of way to go. Also, you could run these sort of harrowing encounters where like the Manticore isn't ever actually going to really engage the party. He just goes by and flings some spikes like every day, peppers them when they're in a certain territory, and like so the players eventually like, we need to get this guy. So like ultimately they're going to want to track the Manticore down because the Manticore is just trying to like wear them down and find the position to pounce, but like maybe the party's just too strong and you know so they'll like every day they'll exhaust their spikes, use them on the party, but like you know it just hadn't been the right time to strike, and the party's going to want to hunt down the Manticore.
Or maybe it finds them it finds the adventuring parties too challenging, so it doesn't ever actually bother to engage or try and finish the conflict, but you know they're still cat-like, so maybe they just like to play with them.
Yeah, I mean like they'll launch their spikes with no problem because they know they're going to get them back. Like that's, you know, so
yeah. So from a safe distance, launch spikes, taunt them, but they, like you said, they have no intention of ever engaging the party.
Yeah, and then the party's just like, we gotta get that guy. So
You know, and then then you can leave clues for tracking them down. You know, you could either maybe there's other allies in his territory that live in terror or fright that can help the party find out where he's located or what its habits are, so they can set a trap.
yeah, or just figure out ways to track it, like ranger. I mean, aerial tracking is going to be pretty hard, but like I'm sure Manticores poop, so that yeah.
Well, if you can trust the book, everybody poops.
Yeah, it's true. If books can be trusted,
Yeah.
or the what is it? The Catholic version. You poop in your dirty person. Yeah, something like that.
I see. Well,
There was a Family Guy episode. Yeah.
what I was thinking is like maybe you figure out what their favorite food source is, like the thing that they reliably go to that they don't find challenging to hunt, and then you can just like stake that out, and then you could track it that way, or plan an ambush for it. And again, like we said, like as it is in the book, they're not that smart, so you could also try and trick it, or you can try and wheel and deal with it. Again, maybe they collect a lot of babbles and things like that, and maybe a Manticore wants to hire the party to deal with something it's afraid of,
That could work.
And there's definitely, stuff in there. They're terrified of dragons. They don't like, griffins and peritons and whatnot. So, yeah.
Yeah, so if you have, like, a good, ranks in the knowledge skill to actually, like, knowledge nature to know about manticores, you could use illusionary magic to just, like, scare off the manticore with, like, a dragon or something.
I could see a role-playing scenario with a manticore being a lot of fun, too, because I picture him as being kind of haughty and imperialist.
But it's also kind of dumb at the same point.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, as well. So, and you can let a little of that slip in. Like, maybe they try and use a big word, but they use it wrong.
Yeah.
And then but then the problem is if you, like, point it out and it offends them, makes them angry, maybe they'll try and eat you.
And then all of a sudden they're launching spikes into your face.
yeah, pretty much.
But I like the picture with their weird shaped teeth. You've got the cool spikes. For any of the magic users of the party or whatnot, they could definitely have some magical components to them.
Yeah, it's actually you beat me too. I was going to say that I could definitely see them as a great source for the chop shop wizard who wants to go. He wants to hunt the manticore for its parts, or also like it also makes a great. Someone who asked me about, I don't know, Facebook, email, one of those things, about running an adventure where the party's just looking to. He's looking for a campaign where they're basically big game hunters, and the manticore would definitely fit into that.
Yeah.
It's got a great, very distinctive head, so if you wanted to mount it on a wall, it's perfect. If you can actually procure the whole thing and stuff,
taxidermy, man, it'd be so fun.
It would be amazing.
So, what do you think about the idea of like like an orc tribes having taken one down and keeping it in a cage, and every day pulling out the spines to use as like missile weapons or arrowheads,
or like blowgun darts, something like that. Like actually really impressive blowgun darts because they usually only I mean they usually only do like a point of damage. It's like a d6, yeah.
But I mean, imagine arrows fashioned from these things, and if you've got
darts would work too. Yeah,
a giant could probably make blow darts out of them.
Yeah.
That might work.
Just ideas.
Well, yeah, it's just like, are they using manticore spines as missile weapons at us? Yeah, they're using manticore spines as missile weapons at us. I can't believe it. Yeah, and then you're like, where are they getting manticore spines from? And then like you track down the tribe, and like there's a manticore in a cage or two.
But yeah, how do they make that work though? Like they'd have to like tie down the tail or something so that they don't get them thrown at them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they might. Yeah, they would definitely have to do a thing with that. I could see it working.
It's food for thought.
Or the cage is too small that they can't get the ricochet that they need maybe to effectively launch it. Yeah. So it's kept in a small cage. So these orcs
they're orcs, so sometimes people just die.
That's true.
Yeah.
You weren't cut out for this job, is what it comes down to.
Yeah. Oh, we only get 7 spines today.
Well, no, just take it out of George.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. All right.
So that's what they have goblin hirelings for that.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, that is exactly how they harvest them. They
get them out of the goblins.
They get them out of the goblins. Hey, I need to show you something. Go through there. Thump, 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 thump. Was that 7 thumps or 8?
And then the goblins can't really count, so can't count above 2.
So, what do you guys think of the manticore? How do you use it in your game? Put your thoughts and comments down below. While you're at it, like, share, even subscribe.
You can tweet at us your favorite manticore moments.
Manticore moments. Or you can follow us over on Instagram.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.